A flagship scheme of the Digital India campaign, the ambitious Bharat Net project, launched to connect India's Gram Panchayats with high-speed broadband, has long been marred by delays. It was started in 2011 as the National Optical Fibre Network and was later renamed in 2014 as Bharat Net when the Narendra Modi government came to power. And in 2012, Bharat Broadband Network Ltd or BBNL, a special purpose vehicle, was set up to implement the project. But over the years, it has earned a dubious reputation for missing several deadlines set by the government. In the first phase, BharatNet was to connect 1 lakh village councils by 2013. The target was instead achieved 4 years later in December 2017. The government aimed to connect the remaining Gram Panchayats by March 2019 in the second phase using a mix of state-led, CPSU-led and private-led models. But the deadline was again pushed. Now, the government has set a revised target to connect all the 6.4 lakh villages spread in 2.6 lakh Gram Panchayats across the country by 2025 with a minimum broadband speed of 100 Mbps. The government recently informed Rajya Sabha that it had connected just 27% of the villages till March this year. Of the 33 states and union territories for which data is available, 15 had a connectivity rate of less than 20%. Only Chandigarh and Punjab had achieved over 90% coverage, and just 8 states and UTs had been able to make over 60% of their villages service ready. The cost of laying the optic fibre has also been escalating. In 2020-21, the government spent 6.9 lakh rupees to lay 1 kilometer of optic fibre cable, which increased to 13.6 lakh rupees in 2021-22. The total approved outlay for the BharatNet project is now 61,109 crore rupees. The government last month cancelled a 19,000 crore rupee tender to lay cables for the project in 16 states under the public-private partnership model after it failed to attract any private bidder. Over 50 companies showed interest, but none came forward eventually. After the failed tender, the government decided to merge BBNL with the loss-making state-run telecom company BSNL. In the past, the performance of BSNL in implementing BharatNet projects under the CPSU-led model had been poor because of its financial condition. BSNL Chairman and Managing Director P.K. Purwar, when asked about the probability of meeting the 2025 rural broadband deadline, sought government handholding while emphasizing that it is not a commercial venture. BharatNet is funded by the Universal Service Obligation Fund, which gets part of private telcos' money in a revenue sharing arrangement. BSNL, as the custodian of the USO fund corpus of over 58,000 crore rupees, said it would ensure that all such assets are made available to all service providers on arm's length principle.
Go back to 2002, when the whole USO thing was conceived. From then on till now, almost about 20 years of the existence of USO funding for common projects to take connectivity to the remote areas and 600,000 villages. It's been a project that has been going on for 20 years. Okay, so that I think by itself answers a lot of questions. So we have one unit which has not been great at implementing the mandate, being merged with another public sector unit which also has a checkered background in terms of its ability to provide connectivity. If you look at what it has done with 4G, I mean, more than half a decade or more of 4G coming in, and now everyone's planning to move to 5G. BSNL still has not been able to get 4G off the ground. So with that kind of history, I will keep my fingers crossed about the prospect of both the entities being merged and really coming out with something more implementable. I think somewhere before making a decision that the government has taken, they could have actually gone to TRI and asked for an updated consultation and recommendation on what needs to be done with BBNL. So I'm not sure on what basis the government has taken a decision. Has there been a proper assessment of the viability of the entire USO funding and BBNL implementation issues? Bharat Net project is basically a result of contributions made by the industry, which is the 5% of the revenue. Now, if proper TRI consultation would have been done, the industry would have also had some say. They could have come out with more recommendations about the best way to move forward in order to make BBNL a more viable project than it is.
Another industry expert told Business Standard on the condition of anonymity that realistic plans and budgets may improve implementation on the ground. He said the merger could work conceptually, but BSNL will face challenges in running a high-technology consumer-facing service competently post the merger. With experts being skeptical, it is anyone's guess as to whether the merger would lead to Bharat Net program being implemented in a better way.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.